All right, y'all. Welcome to the Crawford Family Doghouse. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe and pass it along. It's for a really good cause. And don't forget to spay and neuter. It's more important than we think. So I want to give you guys a little insight to what our problem is out here. The other day we got a phone call about Emmett. That's that newest rescue we got. The I believe he's a pit bull, maybe mixed type deal. Anyways, we got a phone call from Family Dollar, one of the people that work up there, and they told us about Emmett coming in and out of the store, and they had to chase him out. And somebody fed him either in the parking lot or along the side of the building. And there's a police station right next door. So I guess a police officer had seen this. So he went over to the Family Dollar and he wrote the Family Dollar a ticket. And we're not too sure about the ticket. So we're still trying to get some insight about that and see what that was about. But and that's as far as that went, as far as Emmett. Nobody did anything to get him off the street or nothing of that matter. They allowed him to roam free. So, and this is where our problem lies, because nobody wants to do anything about these animals in town or anywhere else at that matter. So, and he's not fixed. That's like, I can guarantee any dog that's roaming around in that town that is not fixed. So it's just a matter of time before they find a female and mate and make a problem even bigger. And so when my wife had found the little brown Chihuahua, Hershey, we went into town and we wanted to speak to the mayor or the chief of police, somebody, because we wanted to relay our problem and really let them know how big it is. But we got the chief of police that day. So really, instead of her trying to listen to our problem, she wanted to paint her problem bigger than our problem, because what she told us is that she has dogs in town attacking people. And I was like, what, right now we have dogs attacking people in town? And it's like, well, what are we doing just sitting here? Why aren't we addressing this problem? We know that was bull crap, because there's no dogs attacking anybody in that town, because I've spoke to people in that town and that's just not the case. I've spoke to one gentleman at the gas station one day and he told me he rides around with bear spray, because every now and then when he rides a scooter, he rides around with his little Chihuahua, and these dogs try to approach him with his little dog on the scooter. But he's never mentioned anything about being attacked or anybody being attacked at that matter. So that's why I say it was like, it was just them trying to paint their problem bigger than ours. Like, we don't matter, they matter more. So, and this is where the problem lies, is because they don't want to put any effort into this problem, which shows because nobody did anything with Emmett the other day. They allowed him to roam free. And like I say, he's not fixed. And I can guarantee that with any dog in that town, they're not fixed. So, and then this is where our problem gets bigger because of that problem. Their stuff comes out here to our county, and our county is not associated with their town. So what we have to say means nothing to them regardless. So, and this is why we want to bring what we want to bring out here as far as the sanctuary goes and trying to do everything we're doing. So, and we're trying to get our nonprofit and our 501(c)(3). That way we can start getting the donations and stuff to do this, because in our area, there is nothing for animals. They don't accommodate for dogs whatsoever here at all. If you want to go to like Pearl River's local shelter, it's actually like 30 miles away in the other town, Picayune. So, and that's if you live out here in Pearl River. Now, Lamar County, they've got like, I think Poplarville they can go to or something like that. But why they're not using their resources, we don't understand, because they're a whole town and a county. They've got resources. Me and my wife, we are just us. We have us. Now, we've got a couple people local here that donate food to us when they can. And I'm telling you, we appreciate them so much, because they help us out a lot doing that. And another one is Lumberton Cafe. These people, they have donated so much to the Scrap to a Cause. And not only that, their time. They're the ones helping us try to get our nonprofit and everything that goes along with that, because we're not business type people. We're not too sure of all the ins and outs on that. So they are donating their time to helping us do this. So, and big shout out to them. They are really appreciated for that. So, it's just, you know, and when we talk to people in our area, like on our community here on our street, I spoke to a woman yesterday and she told me that it has always been like this out here. Everything. It's just always been like this. And I was telling her about the stuff that we're trying to do and bring out here. And most of these people are up in age, you know, they're not younger folks. These are people that have been here their whole life. And she was telling me this stuff has always been like this out here. They're kind of like the outcast and they've always been treated like that. And like I say, I was telling her what we're trying to do and bring here and bring the attention we're trying to bring and stuff. And she was just so thankful. She's like, we're glad to have you guys in our community and stuff like that. And, you know, she really did. And, you know, and when I reach out to our county supervisor, Mr. Russell, it's kind of a joke because he told me he didn't see how people dumping dogs as a county problem. So, and that goes along with everything else, like the dumping of the tar. If you go to the end of our road at our stop sign, you can see where they've dumped tar around our stop sign, like they were using it for weed control. And there's another spot. I've got the little video up of the other spot that they did. And like I say, this stuff falls on deaf ears, man. They don't care because they're not here. They don't live out here where we live. So our problems are not their problems. Their problems are 30 miles away. And I guarantee you, you can go to Picayune and not see anything that you see like you see out here. Because actually Picayune is the first town you come to when you come out of Louisiana. That's the first town you run into. So they kind of hold that, you know, that high and proud there. It's even on their sign, like it's like one of their mottos or something. So, you know, they kind of hold Picayune high and mighty. But when it comes to us, we are part of that county. They don't do that with us out here. So, and like I say, with our team that we're building behind YouTube and our Facebook and our petition that we've got, you know, we've almost got 2,000 signatures on our petition. We're kind of proud of that too. So, you know, and with our team with YouTube, you know, we are going to make a difference here and our voice is going to be heard one of these days and they're going to have to listen. If not, I believe there's going to be some shame handed down and they don't want that through social media because people lose jobs, friends and family, and things get bad when people get shamed on social media. They just don't want that out there. And it's a shame that's what it has to go to for people to actually want to listen to you when you start doing this, because they had plenty of opportunities to fix this and listen before and didn't want to. So it actually takes something like this to get attention. And that's what it is, you know, and I'm sorry if that hurts anybody's feelings, but that's true. That's what it takes to get people's attention because it's not their problem until it's their problem. And like I say, it's our problem right now. And you know, we didn't really see this as a problem at first, like the problems that we do see. We knew that, like in the beginning, when we first, we found a litter of 7 puppies at the end of our road. This was way before we knew any of this stuff going on out here. We found that litter of 7. So we didn't think really nothing about it. We brought them home. We got them all their shots, did everything we were supposed to do. We kept 2 of them and rehomed the rest. So a little more time went on, I think maybe a couple months, we found another dog and then another dog. And then I think we rescued up to 5 of them until we started seeing a trend here. And then it took Alfalfa and Darla for us to open our eyes and really see that there's a problem here. And that's when we started our channel. And that was this time, this year, I want to say June 3rd or July 3rd, because no, June, it was June. We started our channel in June because, no, it was July. Golly, I get them all mixed up because days just running between each other. But anyways, I believe it was July because she had her puppies in August. So she had them 2 weeks after we brought them home. So yeah, it was July. July is when we realized we had a problem out here. That's when we started our YouTube channel and really starting to bring some attention to this place. But the thing is the attention was, there was no, you didn't need to bring attention to where the attention was already known. They knew of this problem. We didn't know. So us trying to spread awareness wasn't getting anywhere because everybody was aware. It was really a matter of trying to make people care. But how do you make people care for something that has been going on for a very long time? I think that's where we fall short, is because you can't make people care. So really now it's about finding people to blame and bringing shame, because that's when they start caring, is when it brings shame to them and it really brings light to their lifestyle. So that's what we need to do, and that's what we are aiming to do, because that's why I started investing in these cameras and putting them up in these hot spots and stuff like that, and really trying to bring people accountable for this. So, and we know we're not the only ones who see these animals when we drive by. We know that there's a lot of people that drive by them and absolutely do nothing, because that is the normal. So, and like I say, there's only a handful of people here that actually will stop and care for these animals. And they know who they are because we know who they are. And, you know, and that's what we want to change. We want to make everybody care, even if, and that's why we want to bring the sanctuary here, because if there's somewhere local to go and somebody who's going to take care of them, why wouldn't you stop, get the animal and take it to where it needed to go? Do the right thing. And we think that's part of the problem, is because, they know there's nowhere to go for them. So it's just leave them where they're at, because they don't want to take them home. Well, we want to change that. We want the people to know that there is a home to bring them to, and that's us. But for us to do that, we have to get our nonprofit, and we have to get this thing going, because we're doing it now really on a shoestring budget. We do sacrifice a lot to make this happen for these animals. We definitely put the animals first. They come first. We don't, we do without a lot, so we can do this for them. And like I say, we've got a few people that donate food to us when they can. So, we're making it work. We'll just put it that way. We are making it work. And like I say, like Southern Pines up in Hattiesburg, the animal clinic, without them, we wouldn't be able to do half of the vet stuff we do, because these people seem like they run specials, it seems like every other day, trying to help with the animal problem that we have here in southern Mississippi. And, and our hat goes off to them. We truly appreciate them. We love these people. So, and, and we're not affiliated with any of them. They don't cover our bills and nothing like that. We just, we pay our end. And another one is the 24 Pet Watch, the chips for the dogs, and we're not sponsored by them in any means either. It's just, these are people I call every now and then and talk to for, words of encouragement, and just to kind of let them know what we deal with out here. And they love to listen. So, and if you've got any questions for them, man, they are willing to answer, and they're really good people. So, if you guys are looking for a chip, check out 24 Pet Watch, man. They're the way to go. So, and, with my surveillance thing, man, I'm serious about this. Like, I need help in the surveillance part of this. And this is, and this is something I'm truly passionate about. That's a passion of mine, trying to catch these people. Rescuing the dogs is not passion, because I believe that was something given to me. Us rescuing these babies was given to us. It's not a passion. I don't believe there's a passion for that. Somebody told me my passion was deep for animals. No, because the person who created me, or, that is the same person that created them. So, and that's why I don't believe it's a passion, because, I don't think your pastor has a passion for pastoring or, preaching. It's just not how that works. So, and that's usually who I hear that from. And that's another thing too. We're known as the Bible Belt out here, but my thing is why do we have 30 churches within 5 miles of each other and nobody goes to the same church? And every time I ask that question to people, they always answer it for me. I don't even have to tell them. It's because we all can't get along. That's exactly what they say. So it's like, and if you can't get along, that means you're talking about each other. And if you're talking about each other, you're wrong. So that's another topic, another day. I'm not even going no further into that one. So, yeah. But, yeah, I just want to kind of give you guys a little insight on the problem that we have out here. And like I say, we thought it was just, the banning of the dogs. It's not just that. This problem lies deep. And it's a lack of care in town. And it's a lack of you know, just care all around. So if you could do anything today, just make somebody care. And it doesn't even matter what it is. It could be anything. Just and make them care. So, all right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, and don't forget to spay and neuter. It's more important than we think.